All right, y'all. So I'm gonna talk to you a little bit here as I run around because I got so many things to do. And I got so many things on my mind, and this is pretty much the only time I have quiet in my own little space here. So I told you just briefly that I met these people from Ukraine, and I started thinking about things. And because I've told people when all this stuff over there started, here we are in America, here we are in our country. We're preparing for an SHF shit hit the fan situation, right? We're preparing for that. Over there, they're going through it. Their shit has hit the fan. So, talking to them a little bit, it just a lot of things come to mind and so forth. And there's a big language barrier. Some of them speak some English, some of them speak more English, and they speak Ukrainian, and then some of them speak Russian. So there's different languages. And they all help each other kind of understand, and then I communicate with them and so forth. And of course, there's some things they can't tell me, which we'll get into that after I talk with this interview. But it's just, here I am in my country, and I'm worried about, the inflation. I'm worried about where am I going to live. I'm worried about, how much money I'm gonna have left over after my check. I'm worried about, thank God I have a job. I'm worried about taking away my freedoms, taking away these things. And they're surviving. They're not just fighting for a rebellion. They're not fighting for this. They're fighting for survival. That's what they're fighting for. They're not just fighting for their country. They are fighting for survival. So it makes me think of things. And I remember when I was a kid, I used to hear the song. I guess it was on the 80s or 90s. It actually came out, but it was a song. I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And it says, the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. Well, you know what? In our country, they're trying to take that away. And you know what? If they're not trying to take away, then it sure does feel like it. It sure does feel like it. And I pretty much call bullshit on that, but when I was a kid and I heard that song, and I was so proud to be an American, I never thought in my life that we would actually need to stand up and fight for our freedoms. But as an adult, almost 50, I'm seeing that we are needing to fight. And maybe not standing at arm, pulling the trigger and fighting in that way. But we still have a chance, at least, politically, not even just politically, but in our political system, to fight. Now, I started this channel to talk to people. And I've talked to a lot of people, and I haven't put them on camera and so forth, but I've talked to a lot of people because I was searching for people who didn't feel the same way I do. And I hear people, and most people that are for other political leaders and so forth, I don't understand why. And then when I ask them, the whole thing is because the other guy's mean. Because the other guy is orange. But the other guy is this and that. They don't have a real reason. And I ask them, so like right now in Texas, we have this governor race going on. And I am not for Beto. I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry. Screw that. I am not sorry. I am sorry for those of you who think that he's a good idea. Because, well, quite frankly, in my viewpoint, my opinion, the Democratic Party is taking our country down. And somebody prove me wrong. Somebody prove me wrong. Even the simplest things. So, our president, I learned when I was a kid, I learned when we had George Bush Sr. in office. And George Bush Sr. was starting to get old. And I learned that other countries did not respect our president as firm as he was in his writing and his words. They did not respect him. Some countries did not, because he was old and weak. And he, if I remember right, it was when he passed out at a table, at a negotiating table or a peace table, I can't remember exactly what it was. At that point in time, other countries started trying to step up and take advantage of our country because they saw us as having a weak leader. And that's what we have right now. We have a weak leader. So I don't care if he's the nicest guy in town. I don't care if he loves vanilla ice cream. I don't care. He's weak. He's weak. And we don't need a weak leader. We need a strong leader. And I don't care if a strong leader calls somebody a name, whatever. Sometimes it's a negotiating tactic too. Sometimes it's just because you're brought up different than everybody else. But you know what? If you're leading our country and you're leading our country well, whatever. You know, I prefer people to be nice, but I want a strong country. So when I was talking to some people, and they brought up, from another country, from the Ukraine, and he says to me, when Trump was president, Russia did not invade or attack anybody. They said Russia stayed in their place. But as soon as Trump was gone, what happened? They step up and they attack. And why? Because we have a weak leader. Our leader doesn't even know where he is half of the time. He's shaking hands with people in the air that don't exist. He's forgetful and he's calling out names of people who just passed. The media is having to make up excuses for him over and over. We don't have a leader. We don't have a good leader. And quite frankly, it seems to me that our president's taking vacation over and over and over. And he's, I saw an article the other day that said he's worked so many more days less than the previous president or any president and so forth. Well, sometimes things work better when he's not there. And quite frankly, I don't think he's actually leading our country. I don't know who is, but I believe it's a board of people, powerful people, who have finally gotten the people in the right place, and they start it doesn't matter who's at the head right now. And this whole idea of a one new world order and so forth, yeah, that is so obvious. Anyhow, I just want to take a minute to rant and rave a little bit as I run over here. I got some things I got to do. I'll come back and talk later. I just kind of went off, and I got off like 10 different points here in this little deal, but I know most of y'all feel the same way I do. Real quickly, though, before I go, say if I'm going to say anything good or say anything point for you to remember, y'all make sure you get to the voting polls. Because I'm driving around and I see too many, in Texas, I see too many signs for Beto. And all the polls and so forth that I hear say that Beto, that's the other guy. That's the other guy in office, the president. But, the Beto is behind. But you know what? We can't take that chance. You get the office, you get the vote, you get the voting, and you vote, and hopefully you're going to vote in Texas for Abbott, because we can't let the Democrats take over any more than they already have. We have to take control back. We have to get our country back. You know, I can't afford to pay these bills anymore. I tell people I was more prepared for an apocalypse than I was this recession, or not recession, or whatever it is that we're in. Which, if our president keeps on going the way he's going and saying the stupid things he's saying, maybe we'll be in an apocalypse too. Y'all take care of each other. Be good to each other. Stay wild. Protect yourself. We'll talk to you later. Bye, y'all.